Welcome, dear viewers, to Mr. Magazine, your home for the stories that move the world beneath the shimmer of fame. Today, we unfold one of the most astonishing dramas of recent years, a story where love, betrayal, and unexpected solidarity collided beneath the Mediterranean sun. This is not merely about a breakup. It's about the end of an illusion and the birth of a quiet revolution, the moment two women who once shared the same heartbreak decided to stand not as rivals, but as allies. It began with a whisper in Italy, echoed by a headline that soon blazed across Europe: "Can betrayed me, and Demet." For months, Diletta disappeared from the public eye, her Instagram empty, her voice absent. Until that morning. Until the bombshell appeared in Corriere della Sera, carrying her haunting confession. "Can betrayed me and betrayed Demet. We both loved the same man at the same time, without knowing it." In that single statement, she rewrote years of speculation and tied two women's destinies together across borders. As the Italian media went into frenzy, Diletta posted a message in Turkish that resonated deeply with audiences from Istanbul to Milan. "Demet, I understand you. Because I've been through the same thing." That sentence alone crossed languages and broke barriers. It wasn't an accusation, it was a gesture. A reaching out. A hand extended from one woman's pain to another's. In a later interview, Diletta described her awakening with disarming honesty. "When I met Can, I was enchanted. I believed in his words, in his warmth. But over time, I saw the cracks. He would fly to Istanbul often, always saying it was for work. Only later did I learn the truth: he was with Demet. We were both living the same love story, unaware of each other." Those words marked one of the gravest accusations ever aimed at Can Yaman's private life. At that moment, all eyes turned toward Demet Özdemir. Though she made no public statement, those close to her revealed the quiet emotional storm that followed. A friend of the actress shared. "Demet cried when she read Diletta's words. She said, 'For the first time, I don't feel alone.' What a comfort it is when another woman understands your pain." And with those tears, the story shifted. It ceased being about betrayal and became about connection. Soon after, Istanbul witnessed a meeting that no one saw coming, a scene more poetic than any script. Diletta Leotta flew quietly to Turkey, evading the paparazzi, and checked into a hotel overlooking the Bosphorus. There, on a sunlit terrace in Beşiktaş, she met Demet. A hotel employee later described what happened. "They hugged without saying a word. They both cried. They held each other's hands, then sat down and drank tea in silence. When Diletta left, Demet told her, 'I'm glad you came.' In those few minutes, two women transformed sorrow into something sacred: empathy." Meanwhile, in Italy, Can Yaman reportedly reacted with disbelief. "This was the last thing I expected," he told friends. "This meeting was planned to damage me." But those who knew the situation closely disagreed. One of his former co-stars told the Italian press, "Can worries about his image, but that's not what this is about. These women aren't against him, they've simply stopped centering their lives around him." Then came the surprise that no one predicted: a new project rumored to be in the making. A major digital platform approached both women with a proposal titled "One Man, Two Women, and an Honorable Farewell." A concept as poetic as it is provocative, a documentary exploring how betrayal can evolve into solidarity. Diletta's response was immediate: "I'm ready." Demet's was quieter, but equally powerful. She reportedly told her inner circle, "If this story can give strength to even one woman, why not?" And so, what began as heartbreak began to take shape as art. Mr. Magazine asks you, our audience, what do you think? Would you watch a documentary born from real pain, yet glowing with dignity? Do you believe that love stories can end, but respect can begin anew? Back in Europe, this emotional alliance between Diletta and Demet became a cultural phenomenon. Italian talk shows dissected the event with fascination, turning what seemed a private matter into a conversation about gender, strength, and dignity. Renowned host Federica Panicucci opened her program with a striking monologue. When love ends, women are often pitted against one another. But what happened here is different. This is not revenge. This is evolution. These women replace silence with solidarity. Across Italy, women's organizations applauded the gesture. The National Women's League even proposed honoring Diletta with a Courage Award for her honesty. Its president declared, "There are no winners in this story, only the courage to speak truth. And that courage will empower millions." As the world debated, Demet Özdemir offered her own quiet response, not through words, but through imagery. She posted a black and white photo on Instagram, herself sitting by the Bosphorus, holding a notebook. The caption read simply, "Some stories aren't told. They're rewritten." In that short line, she encapsulated the entire saga, the act of reclaiming a narrative from pain and turning it into poetry. But the silence from Can Yaman didn't last. Late one evening, he finally broke it, or perhaps deepened it, with a cryptic post. A monochrome image of himself gazing at the sea, captioned, "Everyone tells the truth in their own way. Sometimes silence is the best answer." What might have been intended as reflection quickly backfired. Within hours, the comments were flooded. "Silence won't save you this time. Regret speaks loudest when the mouth stays closed." The actor, once celebrated across Europe, now faced a tide of skepticism that no PR team could contain. And just as the waves of reaction began to settle, another voice entered the storm, Sarah Bloomer, a model linked to Can in recent months. In a podcast interview that immediately trended, she uttered the sentence that reignited everything. "Maybe I was the third woman in the same story." She went on, her tone not bitter but weary. "I ignored Can's past because I thought the past stays buried. But the truth always returns. It's not anger I feel now, just sadness. Because in his story, we were all extras." Her confession echoed like the final line of a tragic script, the closing note in a symphony of emotional collateral. From there, the international press pounced. Spain's Lola headlined, "Can Yaman, Europe's most talked about man, 3 women, 1 silence." France's Elle wrote, "The most elegant revenge of the modern era." Their coverage wasn't about scandal anymore, it was about transformation. "They conquered not through beauty, but through composure," Elle observed. "They placed dignity where once stood desire." For once, a celebrity scandal ended not in rivalry, but in restoration. As we close tonight's story, Mr. Magazine invites you to reflect on what this saga truly reveals. When betrayal becomes shared pain, and pain turns into understanding, something extraordinary happens. Women stop being defined by the men who hurt them and start defining themselves by the strength they found afterward. From the ashes of one man's broken promises rose 2 women who refused to be victims. Diletta Leotta and Demet Özdemir are no longer the women behind the headlines, they are the authors of a new narrative. A narrative that whispers to every woman who has ever been betrayed, you are not alone. If you've stayed with us this far, thank you for being part of the Mr. Magazine family, where we don't chase rumors, we uncover meaning. Like this story if you believe in the power of resilience. Comment to share your perspective on this emotional chapter. And most importantly, subscribe and tap join to support us as we continue bringing you the hidden stories behind fame's glittering curtain. Because here, at Mr. Magazine, every headline has a heartbeat.